So here comes the long-awaited 1.19 Winter Story update, and while 1.18 was actually bigger because it added an epic dungeon with a boss and a ton of new tech, the 1.19 update is also killing it, man, because now we have a few more crazy mechanics, a bunch of new animals, and man, the bow animation is a beast, look at that. As you might have guessed, the animation is touching pretty much any other tool, just look at that size, how he's holding it on his shoulder, and check that axe, let's go, this is it, this is what I always wanted it to be. Holding and placing blocks feels a bit weird, not in a bad way though, it just feels unusual, and I need to test it out when building a huge house to see if it's not gonna be annoying, but immersiveness wise I feel like this is a massive advancement. Now you might have seen better ruins, but what's better about them? Now they seem more robust because they have chiseled parts and it kinda helps them to blend into the world a little better, because before this the epic chiseled dungeon felt kinda off because it was so detailed and everything else was plain and simple, but now chiseling seems to become an actual feature of the in-game world and it helps to make things a little more seamless. Now to make your exploration a bit more fun, we now have a crazy variation of deer. Well, that's it, just a bunch of deer. You don't seem to be able to domesticate them because they don't eat from the trough. Oh, and you also have raccoon and ox pups that spawn in the world, so maybe one day you can catch them as well. Because another cool thing that was mentioned in the update is the ability to catch small domesticated animals using baskets, so it will definitely open new opportunities of moving animals around without hurting them. What really bugs me though is that it's available for the 5th generation of animals. Come on, man, this is like 5 years of playing in one world. Now, what wasn't mentioned in the update is a trap. Apparently, you can make traps from baskets and catch some animals, like rabbits I assume, or maybe even wild animals like pups. Maybe you can finally get a wolf for sale. This should be a pretty fun gameplay feature when it's done. Now there is a new mechanic enabled by default for the wilderness survival enjoyers. If you don't want to get buried alive, you should watch out for the cracked stones above you, just don't try digging them or you can just get smashed like a potato. In the news release, players are advised to build support beams to prevent rocks from falling, well, and honestly that seems to be working pretty fine, or maybe I just got lucky. If you're using density search, your prospecting pick is now automatically creating waypoints and writing all the search information there. It certainly saves a lot of time and just makes your life a little easier. Too bad that you can't modify the icons for now, but they actually mean the heat map, so where the green icon is, there is a high amount of resources, and if it's orange, then there are poor deposits. Oh, and by the way, I bet you already noticed, but the map has got a little bit of rework. It's no longer displaying the colorful palette, but rather showing more topography. It's also adding 3 more tabs like terrain, waypoints and prospecting, which allow you to toggle these elements on your map, but why would you disable the terrain though? Okay, moving on to smaller decorations and stuff, so here comes the scroll rack. It now allows you to store your scrolls as well as tuning cylinders, and it's actually great because tuning cylinders can become annoying pretty quickly when you raid too many locust nests. Troughs. I absolutely love the new models of these, as well as the seed bags. Look how 3D they are, that's kinda cool. Now skin selection is also kinda fun because once you create your character you can now click the last selection and no longer have to customize it every time you create the new world. Finally, there are a bunch of tech updates which improve the life of server admins, regular players and map creators. You now have a handbook of commands which you can scroll through and not worry about running your browser tab in the background. Pretty convenient, no? At last, there is also a live schematic preview when you import your creations. Never done this though, but I've just tried it and it looks fun. Well, and that's pretty much it. Of course, there could be some smaller and technical details that I missed, but for me, these are the things that I would pay attention to, and I absolutely love them being added to the game. And you?